Welcome to the Confident Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Johnson. If you find yourself here, it may mean that you're looking for courage, clarity, or confidence in some part of your life. I interview experts in business and life each week and share strategies for success, motivation, and mindset. If you want to learn more about how I can help you grow your business as an extension of yourself and help transform you into a confident entrepreneur, check out my website, jenniferannjohnson.com, or join my private Facebook group at The Confident Entrepreneur. Now let's get started. Today, we welcome back into the studio Scott Markowitz, and he is the owner of Reinvent Studio. Welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
Absolutely.
It's great to be back.
You know, the first time we were talking all about video and how video is so important for your business, but so is photography in everything that we do.
Yes, photography is everywhere nowadays. And what do they say? A picture is worth 1,000 words, but maybe it's worth more than that.
It's like the Visa commercial. I like that. You're right. Because I can tell, I mean, you're using it on social media. You're using it in print. If you're doing print, you're using it everywhere, in-store signage or signage on your brochures, everywhere.
What is the first thing somebody does when they hear about your company? They go to your website, right?
Yes.
And so the photography that's on your website, that really is the first clue that somebody has about the quality of your business. So it's A, is the website fluid? Is it designed well? And B, are the photographs professional? Are they beautiful? And are they representative of the solution or the service or the skill that you're selling?
Right.
If the answer to any of those things, if the answer to any of those three things is no, then they're moving on.
Right.
Yeah, the pictures are priceless.
And you know what I also find is that there's a lot of authenticity that has to happen there too, because if you use stock pictures and then they come and visit you at your office or you come and visit them and that doesn't match up, like that image, then it's like, there's my trust, right?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, stock images they've become so prolific. And so the chances that somebody else is using the same stock photography that you are is pretty high. So the best answer to that is make your own stock photography.
Right. Because honestly, if I see somebody's brochure or somebody's website, I remember a lot of the pictures. And then you go on someone else's and you're like, oh, they just went down a notch in my book because you called it in.
Yeah.
Right. You basically just called in doing that. Your website. You didn't put any effort into it.
You didn't put effort into it.
I call it calling it in. You just phoned it in.
You phoned it in. You telegraphed it.
But it's important that you get it right because first impressions are everything.
Yeah, first impressions are everything. And photography is such a good opportunity for you to tell more about yourself than just the words on your website or just the caption in your social post.
No, I know in our video, we talked about telling a story, but I feel like you can tell stories in pictures. I mean, how does that translate? Can you do that or not as much, or is video still the better way to do that?
Not only can you do that, but you absolutely should do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, let's think about somebody's wedding day. When you get married and you hire a good photographer, they're going to tell the story of not just who was there, but they're going to tell the story about what happened. And how do they do that? They show a wide shot of the church that you got married at. They take a wide shot of the beach nearby. They take some shots of the trees and the surroundings, and they get some big wide shots with people occupying small portions of the frame to give you like a scale of how big the event is. And then they start taking close-ups of the details. They get close-ups of the ring. They get close-ups of the shoes. They get close-ups of maybe the cocktails being served. And then these details will flow into the shots of people arriving. And you have a variety of different distances of the subject to the camera. And in an individualistic standpoint, these are just single pictures. But when you put them all together into an album, it does, of course, tell the story of your wedding. And so any business can take advantage of that same type of process. You know, you want to have a variety of different things over time that tell the story. So you want some details about your business. So you want some close-ups of your products, of your services, of people doing or performing the skills that your business is known for. You also want to see some wide shots of maybe the end results or just the surroundings. You know, here in Southwest Florida, I know businesses that belong to national chains, but they are coming to Reinvent Studio because they want to have something that's local. Right. So like painting companies, for example, or construction companies, they want to see some shots of their building products in a Southwest Florida setting with palm trees and the beach, because the national materials that they're given to promote their business don't speak to their customers as well. Yeah. So you definitely want to have all those components, close-ups, medium shots, smiling people, happy customers, you know, your representatives, your salespeople. What do they look like? Maybe some candid shots of them, you know, preparing for a sales meeting, or some candid shots of them after they got a big sale and how excited they are. And, you know, because you want to not just portray yourself as the service provider, but you also want to portray yourself as a real breathing human being who gets excited about what you do and celebrates your wins. You know, it's important.
And, you know, you had mentioned weddings. Okay. So weddings, looking back at your pictures, for us as humans, it provokes the memories of those times, right? But when you're working in the business aspect, you're using your photos to tell an emotional story, because emotion sells.
Oh, Jennifer, you totally hit on it.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, selling is all about emotions. People make their buying decisions through their emotions, despite what they think they're making their decisions on. They're not even aware. Yeah. So photography is a fantastic way to start tapping into that emotions. And it begins with the photographs you have on your website, obviously. And so let's answer that question really quickly. Like, how does a photograph connect to somebody's emotions?
Exactly.
Right. And the way that it does is that it connects to something that they want. Okay. So let me explain that a little bit more. The things that we want, let's say that we want to hire, I'm just going to pick a service out of let's say you want to hire a maid service to clean up your house. Well, do you want to hire a maid service because it's going to make you a person that has a clean house? Well,
of course,
on the surface, yes. But why do you want a clean house? Right now we're starting to get somewhere.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. So like, you want a clean house because maybe in my case, you want your wife to feel happy when she comes home from work that her house is clean. Well, why do I want her to feel happy when she comes home from work? Because then she's going to feel more comfortable and relaxed to talk to me. And why do I want that? Because I want to have a meaningful relationship with my wife. And why do I want that? Because I want to be loved. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So you hire a cleaning service.
So I hired a cleaning service so that I can experience, you know, a better loving relationship. And, you know, but that's not the first thing that comes to mind when I start.
No, right.
You know,
it's
like,
deeper.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I think about is, I just need somebody to pick up this mess.
And I think of, wow, I picture a person sitting back with you can see their feet in the picture on a chair at the beach.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go.
Like, I want that so that I can do that. There's the means to my end.
Yeah. So
the ends to my means, the means to my end. I don't know.
No, but exactly correct. So let's put that together in a picture story. So now we see a picture of a happy maid service going through your home, cleaning up your kitchen and your bathroom. And then next to that, there's a picture of you at the beach. And
with your wife.
And then next to that, there's a picture of you, you know, like, you know, close to your wife, engaged in an embrace. Right. That tells the whole story, and that connects you to the emotion that you want.
We just did a whole ad campaign for some cleaning service out there. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Is your closet overflowing? Or maybe your kids' closets are as well. Or maybe you just want to redecorate your house. If you're wondering what to do with all that stuff that you've accumulated, bring it all to True Fashionistas or even ship it to them for free. They'll sell your unwanted items for you and take away all the hassle by doing all the work. And all you have to do is sit back and collect your money. You can reach out to them online at truefashionistas.com, come into the store or check them out on Facebook or Instagram, and that's truefashionistas.com. Welcome back, friends. We are in studio with Scott Markowitz, and he is with Reinvent Studio, and we're talking all today about photography and how important it is to tell a story, because stories sell product and services.
That's right, by connecting to people's emotions.
Mm-hmm. The whole cleaning service we were just talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, that is so true. So I want to talk a little bit about AI.
Yeah.
Because everybody's talking about AI everywhere. How can you use that coupled with photography, or how did those two fit in?
Well, there's probably a million ways that you can use AI.
And by the time we air, there'll be a million.
There's going to be a million more. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, right now there's generative tools. By generative, I mean, there's AI tools that will create imagery based on a text prompt that you provide.
And I just heard about this and I went, what? Hold the phone.
Yeah.
This is really weird. I've not tried them, but.
Yeah. And as of the time that you and I are talking right now, it's not 100% perfect. You know, the AI engines that are driving these imagery solutions don't always know how to recreate the human form. So like you will get some goofy results, like people with 5 fingers on one hand, but 7 fingers on the other hand. Or, you know, people with...
I'm missing a leg.
Yeah.
I'm missing my nose.
Or people, I've seen images like with people with 3 legs. And now the funny thing, the really frightening thing perhaps, or funny, depending on your point of view, is that you can post those pictures with people with 7 fingers and 3 legs, and like for the most part, no one will even notice.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Because
that
people are scrolling their feed
right?
so fast that they don't.
But
even
then wait a second, what's that?
Yeah, but you know, so AI can definitely like get you out of a pinch if you need to have some kind of imagery for your posting or for your blog or whatever. You can definitely use an AI tool to do that. And the thing that I think is more exciting though is to use AI to augment existing
That's what I'm wondering
photographs.
about. Yes. Like put some makeup on me.
Yeah.
Can I look taller?
Oh, absolutely. So you can, you can use some of the tools like say in Photoshop. Photoshop and Adobe are some of the leading like authorities in this space. And so like if you have a Adobe subscription to their Creative Cloud, you have access to their AI tools, and you can absolutely, for example, take a picture that you have and make it maybe more resolute, maybe clearer. You can you can tell AI to make the background larger. So if you need to repurpose a photograph that was taken for one specific use case, and you have to try to conform it into a new use case, like maybe for a brochure or a sales package that you want to present, you could, you know, define what the parameters of that photograph are. And it, you know, for example, if you have a headshot that was taken professionally, but now you need something with more environment in it to put sales copy on top of, you can ask Photoshop to create or recreate the background.
So could it take me from the office to the beach?
Yeah, you
like,
can. Yeah.
Okay, just stick me here.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Now, it may not be as quick and easy as you're imagining.
Right. I'm thinking,
yeah,
here, I want this backdrop.
Usually it does take a little bit of experimentation, and sometimes you'll have to ask the AI to regenerate it several times before it gets a result that you're going to like.
Not much unlike the written, you know, Bard or Chat GPT.
Correct.
With how you're doing copy. The same thing goes true with video or pictures. Sorry.
That's correct. That's correct. And just like ChatGPT, the more you put into the prompt, and the more detail you put into the prompt, and the more clever you are about how you describe what you want, then the better the results. So it's not necessarily going to be something where the machines are going to take over, but you are going to be able to use those AI tools more and more as something that, as a business owner or a marketing professional, you can get more traction from, or more efficient use of your time.
How should we be using our photography that we've paid somebody to do, or we've done? How should we be using this? I mean, we talked about using it on the website, social media, right? And coming in here to this year, what are things that we can that are maybe new on the horizon as well? So purpose or use, and then tools, things that are new.
Yeah. So let's go back a little bit and say that the best way to get the most miles out of your video and your photography is to be strategic about it. So before you even start snapping pictures, you should have maybe a list of things that you want to accomplish with your social media and with your marketing efforts, so that you can better be equipped to go out and capture the images that will relate to those goals. Here's a great example. You could be using your camera to take pictures and make your own stock photographs. Stock photography used to be something that was leveraged a lot. And we just talked about it earlier, that now it's kind of a stale thing, because there's so much use of it that we become aware that it's stock now.
Right. And then you look lazy.
And look like you look like you phoned it in.
You phoned it in.
Right. So, but it's easy enough for you to pick up your phone and you can go and maybe take some pictures of a laptop in your office. Now it's stock photography, but it's specific to your business. Now you can take some stock photographs of plants that are in the front of your lobby. You can take some stock photographs of like your storefront out of focus. And you can now put sales copy in front of it, and the storefront's just a background.
Because no one else is going to have that.
Nobody else is going to have it. It's serving the purpose of what stock photography was originally meant for, which was to become, stock photography was originally created to become the background for sales copy.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah. And, to become just the bedrock in which sales copy was delivered. So we can make our own. And that's, I think, a powerful way to think about photography and how you can start using it to accomplish your marketing goals. Besides that, like I said, we can take things that were shot already, and we can start using AI tools to repurpose them and put them into different.
That was a question I had. Yeah. Repurposing your content.
Yeah. So anytime you can repurpose your content, it's a great thing. So if you had say you had somebody come in to take photographs of your work environment, or some environmental portraits of you in your work environment, well, now you can use those and repurpose them for a blog post. You can use that photograph and repurpose it for the heading of a LinkedIn post or a LinkedIn article.
Right.
If you're creating some professional industry specific content, that's a fantastic way to repurpose your photographs to create more authority for you as an individual, not just your business. So yeah, I mean, anywhere that you can post a photograph, you can reuse things that you've shot before.
It's kind of interesting. So I'm a big proponent of Pinterest. Okay. And I believe in repurposing a photo 3 times on Pinterest with 3 different headings.
Oh, I like that.
And I'm telling you, it has garnered really great success, because Pinterest, it's going to recognize the image, but if you change the copy, it's going to look new.
Oh, I love that. And that's so true, Jennifer. That's such a great tip. I love it. And the same thing is true for your photographs in social media. I mean, you can take the same photograph and repost it today, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now.
Right.
And so you don't need to have a never ending new, generation of photographs. If you have like a really good solid pool of photographs, you're going to get a lot of mileage out of it.
Right. Because on social media, after like 3 days, it's so far down your feed, you're not going to find it unless you go to that person's page.
Yeah.
Right. So they're not going to be none the wiser. It's not going to really.
Yeah. So anytime you have a new offer or anytime you have a new product, reuse the same photographs as long as it works with that sales message.
But then I would imagine there's become some familiarity there where they're like, oh yeah, I know that person. I then they connect more with their business. Maybe is there a thing to that or not?
There is.
Like if you keep using the same photo, they come to recognize that as your company.
Yeah, the caveat, Jennifer, is that it has to be a beautiful photograph.
Okay.
As long as it's a really well-crafted photograph, here's what I suggest: use it over and over. Vary the crop a little bit. Crop in just slightly differently. So like people,
good tip.
Yeah, people will recognize the familiarity of it, and they'll create like a nice feeling for themselves associated with your brand, because anything familiar to us is a positive feeling. So like anytime that you can create a nostalgic notion in someone's mind, then they're going to have that positive association with you, right? But if you just do something very simple as doing a different crop or changing the aspect ratio of a photograph, they might not remember that they saw that photograph.
Right.
Because our visual memories are actually very hyper specific. So even if you change something slightly, it might appear to somebody as new content.
Oh, that's interesting. Love that. Fabulous. Well, I have loved having you on talking about photography today. And then it's fascinating because I know that picture does tell 1,000. What is that word? That 1,000 words?
Pictures tell 1,000 words.
Very, very true. If our listeners would like to get a hold of you, Scott, how can they do so?
Yeah, I would encourage anybody to reach out to me. There's a couple of great ways. You can email me.
Okay.
Just Scott at reinventstudio.com is a fantastic way to get in touch with me. I will respond to everybody's email. And another great way is to reach out on X. My handle is at TeachVidScott.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Jennifer, thank you for inviting me. This was really a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And thank you, friends, for joining me this week and every week here on The Confident Entrepreneur, brought to you by True Fashionistas. If you want a deeper dive or you're wanting to know how I can help you with your small business, head to my website, jenniferannjohnson.com. Have a fabulous day.